Good afternoon, everyone. It has been a challenging couple of years for all of us. Nivedanam, as with almost everything else, stopped in-person classes in March of 2020, just as we were gearing up to get ready for our 2020 annual day program. That would have been our 25th annual day. So we're celebrating it this year instead. Like most other dance schools, we taught virtually online for 2020 and the first part of this year. And we just came back into the studio for in-person classes a couple of weeks ago in preparation for today's program. And for those of you watching virtually, today's program is also different. We are filming it on stage live, but there is no audience except for a few parents and a few dancers waiting to take their stage. We are so grateful that we can do this. We think of all of those we have lost in the past year and several months. We think of the terrible situation in India. We know that so many families who are participating in today's program are at the same time thinking about family members in India who are in the hospital or recovering or perhaps did not make it. My thoughts are with all of us. I feel art is a way to help us get over the trauma of the past few years. I know that when I'm in the studio dancing, for that period of time, I'm able to forget everything in the outside world. I'm so grateful to this particular dance form, Bharatanatyam, which is a spiritual art form and which allows us to pray for the welfare of everyone while we are dancing. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. We acknowledge all our gurus who have helped us to get to this day. And those gurus include not only our dance and music teachers, but our school teachers, our parents, our grandparents, anybody who helps us to become the best possible dancer and best possible person we can be. Welcome to our program 2 of our 2021 annual day. We were not able to meet last year because of the pandemic. 2020 would have been Nivedanam's 25th annual day. So we're doing it this year. And we're doing it in a little bit of a different way so that we can stay safe. So dancers are dancing on stage in person after a year of learning online. And those of you who will be watching this, apart from the few parents who are in the hall, will be seeing it virtually. And we are so happy to share the beauty of Bharatanatyam with you. We will be starting with our youngest dancers, our most beginning level dancers, and they are performing a dance that I call Adava Dhyana Nrittam, a dance on the meditation of Adavas. So having practiced the basic steps, the Adavas, for a year, they are now putting them in a choreography which involves listening to the music and moving around in formations. So the music is a piece by Sheila Chandra, and it is a very nice rhythmic piece which has vocal, mridangam, and instruments. So we present to you our youngest dancers in Adava Dhyana Nrittam. Dancers, will you please come back on stage? Thank you, you did a wonderful job. Very nice. So closest to me, we have Shreya Seshan. And behind her, we have Srita Dabara. And then we have Manoknya Gudipati. And behind her, we have Diya Shakti. And then we have Adya Jakku. Next is Netra Kartik Prabhu. Then we have Mudita Upadhyay. And in the front, we have Neha Taras. So I want to give a little shout out to Mudita. One of the issues that we had this year is that not all of the dancers who learned this dance in 2020 were still in town when it came time to present it this year. So we had a number of dancers who moved away and a couple of others who could not rejoin us. And we needed to have an even number for this dance. So Miss Mudita did this a couple of years ago. So I grabbed out and asked her mom if Mudita could do this once again and help us out. So thank you so much, Mudita. All right, dancers, you did a wonderful job. And I look forward to seeing you back in class. Bye-bye. Alaripu is a traditional opening item performed to spoken rhythmic syllables, which in Tamil we call Sulukattu. And the dancer pays obeisance to God, to her teachers and the audience through pure dance movements. The meaning of the word Alaripu, the blossoming of a flower, is reflected in the movements of the dance, which begin with only the eyes and the neck, and then include the shoulders, and then the arms, and finally the entire torso and the feet. This is a second-year group of dancers. They will be performing, I think it's a third-year group of dancers, and they will be performing Trisra Alaripu, which is in 3 counts. It will be followed by 4 well-known shlokas. The first, addressed to Lord Ganesha, says, I bow at the feet of the Lord, who rides upon the mouse. He holds the modaka sweet in his hand, has large ears and a small form, is the son of Maheshwara, or Lord Shiva, and removes all obstacles. The second verse offers salutations to Saraswati, goddess of knowledge and the arts, who fulfills boons and ensures accomplishment to those on the path of learning. The third verse offers prayers to Goddess Lakshmi, the abode of wealth and auspiciousness, who is praised by the Devas and holds the conch, discus, and mace in her hands. The final verse describes Lord Shiva, whose body is the entire universe, whose voice is all sound, whose ornaments are the moon and the stars, and who resides in the soul of all beings.
मूषिकवाहन मोदकहस्त चामरकर्ण विलम्बित सूत्र वामन रूप महेश्वर पुत्र वीर विनायक पाद नमस्ते मूषिकवाहन मोदकहस्त चामरकर्ण विलम्बित सूत्र वामन रूप महेश्वर पुत्र वीर विनायक पाद नमस्ते वीर विनायक पाद नमस्ते सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु
you, dancers. Will you come back on stage so I can introduce you? Up at the front closest to me, we have Deepshika Sitaraman. Then Gayatri Yeleswaram. And behind her, Ria Kumble. And going to the other side, we have Dikshita Koya. And her older sister, Jayatsana Koya. And up at the front, we have Margarita Crystal. Thank you so much, dancers, for starting us off in a beautiful way. Thank you. You can go. Our next piece is Shivastuti. This is a dance which holds a very dear place in my heart. It was a piece with which I began my Arangetram so many years, decades ago. And it is one of the really brilliant compositions of my guru, Sri M.V. Narasimhachari. It takes a very simple verse, just 4 lines, and he has set it to Misra Chaputala, 7 counts, and he manipulates those 7 counts in such beautiful ways, never repeating the same formulation of 7 counts. And he has taken this very simple verse and created such a beautiful piece with it. The verse says, Lord Shiva's body, his Angikam, is the entire universe. His speech, Vachikam, is everything you hear in the universe, from music, instrumental music, poetry, lyrics, singing, speech. His ornaments are not mere ornaments. They are the moon and the stars in the sky. And he resides in my innermost being, and it is when I access that deep inner spiritual place that I encounter Lord Shiva. So this group of dancers will present Shivastuti.
Jam tajam tadimi takajam tajam takata jam tajam takati jam tajam takata jam tajam takati jam tajam takata tadikita takajam tajam takati Tadikita takajam tajam tagata Tadhimi tadikita takajam tajam tagati Tadikita kita takajam tajam tagata Tadikita takajam tajam tagati Takun tadikita takajam jam Tadikita takadikita jam Tadikita takatakita jam Tadikina tadikita jam Tadigina tatakita jam takunda dikita takadikita jam takunda dikita takatakita dikita takunda dikita takatakita dikita takunda dikita ta thalangu tum takatadigina tum angikam duvanum Angikam bhuvanam Angikam bhuvanam Angikam bhuvanam Angikam bhuvanam Angikam bhuvanam Dhama 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 dhakutam dhikutam Yasya vachikam Sarvavangmayam Sarvavangmayam यस्य वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयो धम 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 दकुंदरी कीटतकता धम 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 दकुंदरी कीटतकते आगार्यं चंद्र तारादि तुम 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 तकिट तक नम 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 तकिट तक तुम 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 तकिट तक नम 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 तकिट तक तम नुमदा सात्विकम् शिवं दित्तां दिद्दित्तै कृतकदित्तै तदिद्दित्तै दित्तां तदिद्दित्तां तदित्तै तदिद्दित्तै तदित्तां दिद्दित्तां दित्तै दिद्दित्तै ताङ्कृतकतरिकृतक ताङ्कृतकतरिकृतकतरिकृतकतरिकृतं तगदित्ताङ्कृतकतरिकृतं माङ्गिकं भुवनं यस्य वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयो आगार्यं चन्द्र तारादि तं नुमः सात्विकं शिवं
Thank you, dancers. Thank you so much. Closest to me is Manasvi Shah. And behind her is Kanksha Joshi. On the other side of Kanksha is Lakshmi Manoj. And up in the front, Ojasvi Sonavane. Thank you, dancers. Thank you for doing credit to this beautiful song. Thank you. So our next piece is a Malari. This is a kind of musical piece that did not traditionally start out as a form of music used by Bharatanatyam. It is a very rhythmic type of song without any lyrics, which is used to accompany the procession of a deity around the temple grounds. It has different speeds. You will always have a slow first speed, a second speed, a third speed, and then eventually it will also go into Trisranade, which we call as 3 subbeats per count instead of 4. And because of this interesting rhythmic structure, dancers co-opted this musical form for choreography for Bharatanatyam. I don't know exactly when the first time Malari was used, but it's probably within the past 50 to 60 years, and it's become a little more common recently, and now we're actually finding people writing Malaris specifically for dance. So there are no lyrics. It is all footwork. It is an extremely tiring and vigorous dance, and these dancers have been learning for about, I believe, 9 or 10 years. They are among our senior dancers, and they get the pleasure of performing for you Malari in the raga Nattai and Aditala. Beautiful dancers, very beautiful. You made it look effortless. Closest to me is Ananya Nath. Behind her is Harsha Kondi. Harsha is a graduating senior in high school, so I will be saying goodbye to her, but she's sticking fairly close to home. She is going to MTSU because they have a special 4-year plus med school program. So after the 4 years, she'll go straight to Meharry Med School, if she studies well. So. And next to Harsha is Hamsini Konnakalla. And then on the far side is Sonia Jayatilake. This group has been together for quite a few years, and you can tell that they are very close and good friends because they're the only group so far that has been clapping each other. Very nice. I like it a lot. Thank you, dancers. Our next piece is a kavutvam, which is a kind of a poetry in Tamil language. And many temples in India would have a kavutvam associated with the deity of that temple. They are short pieces. Typically they come towards the beginning of a Bharatanatyam recital. Sometimes they are purely recited as poetry, but more often they are sung, the lyrics are sung. I call this piece Hari Narayana Kavutvam because the lyrics mention that phrase, Hari Narayana, but a number of the avatars of Lord Vishnu are mentioned in this dance. The dance has 4 verses, and it talks about how the Lord is present everywhere, how he enjoys the sound of music, how he dances on his golden feet, how he holds in the 2 hands the shankha and the chakra, and how as a child of Krishna, when he ate mud, you could see the whole. When his mother told him to open his mouth, you could see the whole universe in his mouth. And how it takes the avatars of Matsya, the fish, and Kurma, the tortoise, and Varaha, the bull, and how he is the defeater of demons. So we present Hari Narayana Kavutvam.
Di
Sandhya has a fan club. You can tell that this group has a lot of fun. These are all ladies and been together for 3 years learning. Their first time performing was in 2019, I believe. 2 of them are recent moms. You would never know that with tiny little ones. Thankfully, our class is from 8 to 9 p.m., so they put their babies to sleep and then come to class. So we actually have a wonderful time together. Closest to me is Sandhya Hariharan. Behind her is Sindhura Ponala. And then we have somebody very well known to our temple community, Padmaja Kasa. Then we have Medhini Rajkumar. And on the far end we have Anusha. So 2 little stories to tell. One is about Medhini. Medhini is not a recent mom. Medhini is a high school student. And in 2017, she learned this dance, but very regrettably had to leave to India a few days before the performance and could not actually perform it. And a few weeks ago, I'd say about a month ago, the 5th member of Our Ladies group had to drop out because of a very serious knee issue. So I contacted Medhini and asked if she would revise that dance from several years ago and dance in Vidya's place. So I do want to honor and acknowledge Vidya Pramod and also Medhini for taking over so beautifully. And another little story about Anusha. Now, I don't know whether Anusha started learning first or her mom did, but her mom has been inspired in India to learn dance, and every now and then Anusha shows us videos of her mother dancing. It is Kuchipudi style, I believe, rather than Bharatanatyam, but we can see where Anusha gets her love of dance from her mother. So thank you so much, ladies, and I look forward to further opportunities to work with you. Thank you, Monica. It's a pleasure. Our next piece is a composition of Saint Annamacharya addressed to Lord Venkateshwara. It is a beautiful, sweet, and simple song, and I have used it for my second-year dancers. So after they learn the basic steps, then typically I would go to a song like this, a simple song with instrumental interludes, so they get a feeling for how to put all the basic steps into a choreography, and they also learn how to use the hand gestures to tell stories. So this song is called Tirumalagiri Raya, and the lyrics say, O Lord of the Tirumala hills, you rest in meditation. You are the Lord of all the gods, and all good qualities reside in you. You are adorned in sparkling jewels. You possess a handsome form, and you enjoy all entertainments like music and dance. You are the giver of all the joys of spring and enjoy dancing with the gopikas. You are the leader of the cowherders. You are supreme in intelligence and fresh like the aroma of flowers. You guide us in the path of righteousness, and your greatness cannot be described in words. O Lord of the Tirumala hills, please protect and embrace me. This dance is in Aditala Trisragati, which means that the general cycle is 8 counts, but each one of those 8 counts has 3 sub-counts. So it is a rhythm that goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you will hear that in the footwork of the dancers. We now present Tirumalagiri Raya. I would say that was very good for second-year students. Congratulations. Yes, applause. Closest to me is Arshia Malhotra. Behind her is Onella Sharma. And then in the back, in the orange costume, is Rhea Chaurasia. Coming back towards the front in the purple costume is Anika Aryan. And right in the front is our littlest one, Mohina Malhotra. Then going towards the back again, we have Tanvi Reddy Bangala. And in the back is Rani Savoji. And coming on that side of the W, we have Ruhi Gupta. And then in the front, we have Hansika Krishna Venkata Dhonadula. Thank you so much, dancers. You did a wonderful job. Thank you. Our next piece is a Jatiswaram. It's a dance designed to present the basic pure dance technique of Bharatanatyam. The hallmarks of this technique are a deeply bent, turned out position of the knees, crisp athletic movements of the body, symmetrical lines created by the arms and legs, and clearly audible footwork that is hopefully on the beat. Jatiswarams are an important milestone in the dance education of Bharatanatyam students, as the process of learning this dance greatly improves their control over the difficult movements and the rhythms of this very complex art form. At Nivedanam, Jatiswaram is typically encountered in the 4th or the 5th year of dance education. The song for this dance contains no lyrics, hence there is no expression or bhava on the face. The singer sings the swaras, or in English the solfeggio notes, sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, of the particular raga to which the Jatiswaram is set. This Jatiswaram is a composition of Sri Madurai N. Krishnan in the raga Bilahari and Aditala, which is an 8-count rhythmic cycle. So we now present the Bilahari Jatiswaram.
Sa ni da pa magari sa magari ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa ni da pa magari sa magari ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa ni da pa magari ga kalan gutakata dikita tum ta ka jum tarida jum darida ka darida jana jana kukundarida kukundarida jum darida ka darida jana kukundarida tadikita tum taka tiku tadikita tum jum darida jana kukundarida tadikita tum taka tiku tadikita tum jum darida jana kukundarida taka tiku tadikita sa ni da pa magari sa magari ga pa da sa ni da pa magari sa magari ga pa da sa ni da pa magari sa magari ga pa da sa ni da pa magari sa magari ga pa da sa ni da pa magari sa magari ga pa da sa ni da pa magari sa magari ga pa da sa ni da pa magari sa
sa ri ga pa da sa li da pa da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa li da pa da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa li da pa da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa li da pa da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa li da pa da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa li da pa da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da ri sa li da sa ni da pa ma ga pa da ri sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri ga pa da ri sa li da sa ni da pa ma ga pa da ri ga ri sa ni da pa ni da ga pa da sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa li da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa ni sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ni da sa ri ga pa da sa ni da ni da pa ma ga ri sa ni da sa ri ga pa da sa ni da ri ga pa ni da pa sa ni da pa ri ga pa da ni da pa ma ga ri sa ri ga pa ga sa ni da ri sa ni da ga ri sa ni da ri sa li da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa sa ri ga ma ga ri sa ni da ri ga ri sa ni da pa ma ga pa da sa sa ri ga ma ga ri sa ni da ri ga ri sa ni da pa ma ga pa da sa sa ga ri sa ni da ri sa ri ga ma ga ko ri sa ni da ba da ri sa 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 ga ri sa ni da ri sa ri ga ma ga ko ri sa ni da ba da ri sa ni da wa ga ri ga pa da sa ri ga ri sa ni da pa ma ga pa da ri sa li da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa li da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa ri da pa ma ga ri sa ma ga ri ga pa sa ri ga pa da sa
Thank you so much, dancers. It was lovely. Congratulations on completing Jatiswaram. Closest to me is Olivia Brown. Behind her is Rishika Challa. Then we have Prisha Shetia. Gotta learn how to say that name correctly. And then we have Kanu Shetkar. On the other side, we have Harini Shri Satu. And then Shadvi Gauri Shankar. I want to give a special shout out to Shadvi because she's one of those senior dancers who's filling in for somebody who couldn't participate. Shadvi learned this dance several years ago in 2017, so I co-opted her and made her dance it. Then we have Abhinaya Pinjakan. And at the front, we have Nandini Patel. Thank you so much, dancers. Thank you. Our next piece is a Shabdam. Shabdam is a very expressive dance which tells a story, usually of a particular deity. In this case, the deity is goddess Meenakshi. The lyrics, written by my guru, Srimati Vasantalakshmi, in the Tamil language, are in 4 verses. And they describe Meenakshi, the one with the graceful fish-shaped eyes, which is the meaning of the word Meenakshi. She is associated with the city of Madurai, in whose famous temple Shiva stands on the opposite leg than usual. The lyrics say that the whole city blossoms under the gaze of those eyes which can give devotees the unalterable state of enlightenment. Her form, with its dark complexion, the color of dark jade, and slanted small waist, is the embodiment of compassion. She is the ruler of the 3 worlds. The second verse describes how the Pandya king, who had no children, prayed for a child. Meenakshi took incarnation as his daughter, but also took on the role of a son. She was trained in the art of warfare, and all the kings trembled at the sight of her. She conquered the whole world until she came to the snow-capped Himalaya mountains in the far north and stood in the presence of Lord Shiva. The third verse describes how Meenakshi felt upon seeing the gentle smile and majestic beauty of the Lord. A feeling entered her heart that she had never before experienced. Cupid's arrows of love passed through the eyes of Lord Shiva, and the warrior maiden stood before him, blushing. Dropping her weapons and accepting Shiva as her lord, Meenakshi blossomed into a woman. The final verse describes the wedding of Shiva and Meenakshi. With auspicious songs playing, with Cupid victorious, and with both the earth and heavens bowing to them, the sister of Vishnu was married to Lord Shiva. O Mother Meenakshi, bless us. We now present Meenakshi Shabdam. This is a 6th-year group, and they are working for the first time on developing the kind of bhava that is necessary in Bharatanatyam. And Shabdams are the type of dance which encourages that. And so we will look forward to Meenakshi Shabdam.
தத்தையாத்தை தத்ததாம் தத்தையாத்தை தத்ததாம் தடங்குதொம் தகததிகினதொம் சதனதொம் ஜன தஜனு ஜனு கீட்ட ததிமி திமி திமி ததிமி திமி கீட்ட தத்தஜம் தகதஜம் தஜம் தஜம் ததிகினதொம் மதுரை நகர் மலர் விழிகளவை மாறா நிலை பெறும் வழிகளவை மதுரை நகர் மலர் விழிகளவை மாறா நிலை பெறும் வழிகளவை மரகதமே நீரும் மெல்லிடை சாய்தலும் மங்கள தோற்றமும் மீனாட்சி மரகதமே நீரும் மெல்லிடை சாய்தலும் மங்கள தோற்றமும் மீனாட்சி மூவுலகிலும் புன்னருளாட்சி மதுரை நகர் மலர் விழிகளவை மாறா நிலை பெறும் வழிகளவை மதுரை நகர் மலர் விழிகளவை மாறா நிலை பெறும் வழிகளவை மரகதமேனியும் மெல்லிடை சாய்தலும் மங்கள தோற்றமும் மீனாட்சி மரகதமேனியும் மெல்லிடை சாய்தலும் மங்கள தோற்றமும் மீனாட்சி மூலகிலும் அருளாட்சி மதுரை நகர் மலர் விழிகளவை மாறா நிலை பெறும் வழிகளவை மதுரை நகர் மலர் விழிகளவை மாறா நிலை பெறும் வழிகளவை மரகதமே நீரும் மெல்லிடை சாய்தலும் மங்கள தோற்றமும் மீனாட்சி மரகதமே நீயும் மெல்லிடை சாய்தலும் மங்கள தோற்றமும் மீனாட்சி மூவுலகிலும் உன்னருளாட்சி மூவுலகிலும் உன்னருளாட்சி மூவுலகிலும் அருளாட்சி அலங்குதொம் தகதழிகிணதொம் ததனதம் தனதயோனு யோனு கிடத திமி 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 தரும் திமி கிட மலைய துவயனின் மகளன தோன்றி மகனும் ஆனன வில்லையும் ஏந்தி மானிடம் நடுங்க மன்னர்கள் வாட போர் முழக்கமிட்டு நீ சென்றனே மலைய துவகனின் மகளன தோன்றி மகனும் தானன வில்லையும் ஏந்தி மானிடம் நடுங்க மன்னர்கள் வாட போர் முழக்கமிட்டு நீ சென்றனே வெள்ளி மலை வாழி சன்னும் நின்றனே மலைய துவகனின் மகளன தோன்றி மகனும் தானன வில்லையும் ஏற்றி மலைய துவகனின் மகளன தோன்றி மகனும் தானன வில்லையும் ஏற்றி மானிடம் நடுங்க மன்னர்கள் வாட ஒரு முழக்கமிட்டு நீ சென்றனை மானிடம் நடுங்க மன்னர்கள் வாட ஒரு முழக்கமிட்டு நீ சென்றனை வெள்ளி மலை வாழி சன்னும் நின்றனை வெள்ளி மலை வாழி சன்னும் நின்றனை வெள்ளி மலை வாழி சன்னும் நின்றனை பழங்குதொம் தக்கததிகிணதொம் ததனதம் தனக சொன்னு சொன்னு கிடதி திமி திமி ததியும் திமி கிட்ட முருவலும் அழகும் கம்பீரமும் கண்டு முன்னறியா நிலை மனதினில் கொண்டு மாறன் கணை ஆரன் கண் வழிபாய மங்கையே நாணத்தில் நின்றனையே முறுவலும் அழகும் கம்பீரமும் கண்டு முன்னறியா நிலை மனதினில் கொண்டு மாறன் கணை அரண் கண் வழிபாய மங்கையே நாணத்தில் நின்றனையே உன் மன்னனை அடைந்தே மலர்ந்தனையே முறுவலும் அழகும் கம்பீரமும் கண்டு முன்னறியா நீலை மனதினில் கொண்டு முறுவலும் அழகும் கம்பீரமும் கண்டு முன்னறியா நிலை மனதினில் கொண்டு மாறன் கணை அரண் கண் வழிபாய மங்கையே நாணத்தில் நின்றனையே மாறன் கணை அரண் கண் வழிபாய மங்கையே நாணத்தில் நின்றனையே உன் மன்னனை அடைந்தே மலர்ந்தனையே மன்னனை அடைந்தே மலர்ந்தனையே உன் மன்னனை அடைந்தே மலர்ந்தனையே அலங்குதோம் தகததிகினதோம் ததனதோம் தனதருளுதோம் ததிமித்திமிரிமி ததிமிக்கிட்ட மங்கள கீதம் முழங்கிடவே அந்த மாறனை வென்றோனை மனம் புரிந்தாய் மண்ணும் விண்ணும் வணங்கியதே எம்மை வாயோ தங்கையே அருள்வாயே மங்கள கீதம் முழங்கிடவே அந்த மாறனை வென்றோனை மனம் புரிந்தாய் மண்ணும் விண்ணும் வணங்கியதே எம்மை மாயோன் தங்கையன் அருள்வாயே மதுரை மீனாட்சி அருள்வாயே மங்கள கீதம் முழங்கிடவே மங்கள கீதம் முழங்கிடவே அந்த மாறனை வென்றோனை மனம் புரிந்தாய் மண்ணும் விண்ணும் வணங்கியது எம்மை மாயோன் தங்கையே அருள்வாயே மண்ணும் விண்ணும் வணங்கியது எம்மை மாயோன் தங்கையே அருள்வாயே மதுரை மீனாட்சி அருள்வாயே தாயே மீனாட்சி அருள்வாயே மதுரை மீனாட்சி அருள்வாயே தாயே மீனாட்சி அருள்வாயே அளம்புதோம் தகததிகினதோம் தத்தின்னம் தகுததிகிட தக தகதின்னம் தகுததிகிட தக தகதின்னம் தொழுததிகிட தக தடம்புதோம் தகததிகினதோம் தத்தையா தெய்தததா
Thank you, dancers. Closest to me is Ananya Varshne. Behind her is Maya Rajakumar. We call her Maya, but her formal name is Kirti Maya Rajakumar. So I want to make sure to say that, because you gave her that name, I should say it. In the middle, we have Nityashri Prabhu. And then Kirti Maya's mother, Indumati Rajendran. And over on the far side, we have Chaitrika Gola. Thank you so much, dancers. Thank you. Our next piece is a well-known dance on Lord Shiva. It describes the cosmic dance of Nataraja, the Lord of Dance, which brings happiness to all who see it. According to mythology, Lord Nataraja's Ananda Tandavam, or Dance of Bliss, took place at Chidambaram in South India, which is now sacred ground for worshippers of both Lord Shiva and of the art of Bharatanatyam. With his long hair flowing, with the river Ganga and the crescent moon resting in his locks, and praised by Balakrishna, Shiva dances to the accompaniment of tala, or rhythm, delighting his devotees who chant Namah Shivaya. We present Ardum Chidambaramam.
चिदंबर महाक्षेत्रे सेव्य संगई शुभंकर आकाशलिंग रूपेण नटराजो महेश्वरः नटराजो महेश्वरः नटराजो महेश्वरः तां 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 धनिकी तकरी री री धनिकी तक तुम धनिकी तक नम 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 धनिकी तक तरिगड़ तुम तरिगड़ तुम तरिगड़ तुम तक तरिगड़ तुम तरिगड़ तुम तरिगड़ तुम तरिगड़ तुम नी तरिगड़ तुम नी तरिगड़ तुम नी तरिगड़ तुम ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா என்னை கூத்தாடும் சிதம்பரமா என்னை என் ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா என்னை என் ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா என்னை என் ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா என்னை கூத்தாடும் சிதம்பரமா என்னை என் ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா அன்பர் கழிக்கவே ஆடும் சிதம்பரம் 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 அன்பர் கழிக்கவே நாடும் சிதம்பரம் நம சிவாய பொருளே 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 ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா என்னை கூத்தாடும் சிதம்பரமா என்னை என்னாடும் சிதம்பரமா 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 பாலகிருஷ்ணன் போற்றும் பணிமதி தடறினார் பாலகிருஷ்ணன் போற்றும் பணிமதி தடறினார் பாலகிருஷ்ணன் போற்றும் பணிமதி தடறினார் பாலகிருஷ்ணன் போற்றும் பணிமதி தடறினார் தாளம தளத்தோடு தாசை சங்கதி என்று தாளமத்தளத்தோடு தாசை சங்கதி என்று தாளமத்தளத்தோடு 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 தாசை சகதி என்று ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா தாளமத்தளத்தோடு தாசை சகதி என்று ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா என்னை 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 ஆடும் சிதம்பரமா சிதம்பரமா சிதம்பரமா
That was beautiful, dancers. This group has come into its own this year, meaning that after a number of years of working, finally things are coming together and they're dancing effortlessly, well, breathing a little bit, but the arms are lifted up and Arimandi is there and it's just really nice to see. So thank you. Closest to me is Neha Tanigavelan. Behind her is Avantika Pillai. Next we have Samyukta Babu. And in the corner we have Medhini Rajkumar. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We next present a beautiful and deeply spiritual song in Malayalam, addressed to Lord Ayappa, the patron deity of Hindus in the state of Kerala. This dance depicts the importance of archana, or the performance of ritualistic worship as a form of devotion that can lead to God realization. The song, entitled Harihara Sudan Archanayale, describes the elaborate ritual worship performed to Lord Ayappa, who is believed to be an incarnation unifying the mighty powers of both Shiva and Vishnu. Components of the ritual include offering a milk bath, sandalwood paste, rose water, and flowers, adorning him with a Rudraksha necklace and clothing, and performing arati. Before undertaking their annual pilgrimage to the shrine of Ayappa at Mount Sabarimala, worshippers observe a period of purification in which the senses are brought under control. While carrying their belongings on their head, they joyously and without fear pass through the forest with its rocks and thorns and proceed up the mountain. The song describes the inner meaning of the 18 steps climbed by the devotees to reach the shrine. The first 5 steps represent the 5 physical elements: earth, water, wind, fire, and air. When we overcome these, and the 6 human passions represented by the next 6 steps, we must learn to tame the 3 gunas, or qualities, inner qualities that all men have, the 3 gunas of passivity, lethargy, and vigor. Continuing up, we must pass beyond 3 more steps representing knowledge, ignorance, and ego. Only then do we come to the final step of the Supreme Brahman. When this too is crossed, we merge with that Brahman and experience the oneness of all existence. Harihara Sudan Archanayale, with lyrics by Natyacharya Aravindan, Natyachari Kavi Aravindan, music, composition, and choreography by my late guru, Sri M.V. Narasimhachari, and it is performed by Rosette Chakalakal, Niranjana Shashikumar, and Yashvita Tartikotla. The piece begins with a beautiful alapana of Raga Shaurashtra and a mridangam intro, typical of the percussion sounds of Kerala. We present Hari Hara Sudan Archanayale.
சமமுள்ள சபரிமாமலர் சந்நிதி. ருத்ராட்சமால இட்டு நீ மண்டல விரதம் எடுத்து ருத்ராட்சமால இட்டு நீ மண்டல விரதம் எடுத்து இரு கெட்டு கெட்டி நடக்கையில் இரு கெட்டு கெட்டி நடக்கையில் கல்லு முள்ளு நெருங்க காட்டினுள் செல்லும் பயம் பயம் தாகத்தஜம் தரி தாகத்தஜம் தரி தகதரி தகணக திமி திமி திகு தக தாகத்தஜம் தரி தகதஜம் தரி தகதரி தகணக திமி திமி திகு தக நீதன்னே பிரம்மம் என்பதோடுவான் செய்ப்படி அஞ்சும் காட்டும் பஞ்சபூத சொரூபமாம்படி பஞ்சபூத சொரூபமாம்படி பஞ்சபூத சொரூபமாம்படி பஞ்சபூத சொரூபமாம்படி கேரியாரிலே கெட்டும் நின்னில் நிற்கும் ஓராறு செத்துக்கள் ஆனந்தபடி ஆனந்தம் நின்னில் நிற்கும் ஓராறு செத்துக்கள் ஆனந்தபடி ஆனந்தம் ஆயதும் கடல் நேரி சொல்லுகில் காணும் படி மூடென்னோ சாதிக்கும் தாமசம் ராஜசம் சாதிக்கும் தமோ ராஜசம் என்ன ஆடல்லோடு படி வித்யா அவித்யா அகங்காரம் என்ன மூணு திப்படி ஏழுதில் பிரம்மமேகம் அதனுள்ள தத்துவம் காட்டும்படி நெறினே படி 18 வீட்டு செல்வில் சாந்த பிரம்மம் நீயாயல்லோ பிரம்மமர்ச்சனம் செய்து பிரம்மமர்ச்சனம் செய்து பிரம்மமர்ச்சனம் செய்து பிரம்மத்தில் பிரம்மமணி மாறும் நல்ல நெய் அபிஷேகம் சரணமையப்பா பனி அபிஷேகம் சரணமையப்பா சந்தனோ அபிஷேகம் சரணம் அம்மையப்ப புஷ்பம் எண்ணிபக்கும் ஐயனின் அரவிந்த பாதத்தில் அர்ச்சனும் செய்ய மூர்த்தியாம் ஐயன் அரவிந்த பாதத்தில் அர்ச்சனும் செய்ய முக்தியாம் அர்ச்சனும் செய்ய அர்ச்சனும் செய்யில் மூர்த்தியா அர்ச்சனும் செய்யில் முக்தியா அர்ச்சனும் செய்யில் முக்தியா
I absolutely love that dance. It's so soothing and peaceful. And thank you so much for doing it so beautifully. Closest to me, we have Yashvita Tatikotla. So, like many dancers, Yashvita has been with me for about 10 or 11 years, 12 maybe? Yes. And she's going on to college this year. But she's going to Vanderbilt, so she'll be close by and I will get to see her. Congratulations, Yashvita. And in the middle we have Niranjana Shashikumar. Niranjana learned in Coimbatore in India and did her Arangetram there and moved to Nashville to work, and we are the happier for her move here. And then we have Rosette Chakalakal. Rosette is a physician at Vanderbilt University. Rosette learned in Florida. And both Rosette and Niranjana are happy to have a Malayalam song. Thank you so much. Our next piece is, we call it Nritanjali. So bowing down to the beauty of dance, or expressing the beauty of dance. Actually, the music is a Pushpanjali in its original form, but we have used it not for an opening dance purpose, but to show the exquisite beauty of Bharatanatyam. It is a very vigorous dance. It is quite continuous. There are lots of different rhythmic patterns. This piece was originally taught a couple of years ago in 2019 to a group, one of my senior classes, and we practiced it with 6 and then 3, and with graduations, going to college, we are now down to 1 dancer. But this dancer completed his Arangetram in 2019, and he is more than up for the job of showing the beauty of Bharatanatyam. So Karthik presents Nritanjali.
Jam ta takata jam ta janu ta ta janu ta dim ta janu dim ta dim ta janu dim ta tatom ta dim ta jam ta takata jam ta janu ta janu ta dim ta janu dim ta dim ta janu dim ta tatom ta dim tata janu dim tada taka dim ta janu dim tada tatom tata dim tata ta jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata janu ta dim tata janu dim tada taka dim ta janu dim tata tatom tata dim tata ta jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata janu ta dim tata janu dim tata taka dim ta janu dim tata tatom tata dim tata ta jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata janu ta dim tata janu dim tata taka dim ta janu dim tata tatom tata dim tata ta jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata janu ta dim tata janu dim tata taka dim ta janu dim tata tatom tata dim tata ta jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata janu ta dim tata janu dim tata taka dim ta janu dim tata tatom tata dim tata ta jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata janu ta dim tata janu dim tata taka dim ta janu dim tata tatom tata dim tata ta jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata tajam 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 tam tajam tajam dim tajam tajam tom tajam tajam nam tajam tajam tam tajam tajam dim tajam tajam tom tajam tajam nam tajam tajam tam tajam tatim tajam tatom tajam tanam tajam taka janu taddi talang dom taka janu taddi talang dom taka janu taddi talang jem gida taka tari gida taka jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tari gida taka jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tari gida taka jem gida taka tam tadin gina tom tadin gina tom tadin gina tom jem gida tari gida jem gida tam jem gida tari gida jem gida tam jem gida tari gida jem gida tam tadin gina tom tadin gina tom tadin gina tom jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tam tadin gina tom tadin gina tom tadin gina tom jem gida taka tari gida taka jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tari gida taka jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tari gida taka jem gida taka tam tadin gina tom tadin gina tom tadin gina tom jem gida tari gida jem gida tam jem gida tari gida jem gida tam jem gida tari gida jem gida tam tadin gina tom tadin gina tom tadin gina tom jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tam tadin gina tom tadin gina tom tadin gina tom jem gida taka tari gida taka jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tari gida taka jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tari gida taka jem gida taka tam tadin gina tom tadin gina tom tadin gina tom jem gida tari gida jem gida tam jem gida tari gida jem gida tam jem gida tari gida jem gida tam tadin gina tom tadin gina tom tadin gina tom jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tam jem gida taka tam tadin gina tom tadin gina tom tadin gina tom kata jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata janu ta dim tata janu dim tata taka dim ta janu dim tata tatom tata dim tata ta jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata janu ta dim tata janu dim tata taka dim ta janu dim tata tatom tata dim tata ta jem tata kata jem ta janu tagata
Wow, Karthik, fabulous. So full of energy, so beautiful. Thank you so much. So this is Karthik Rachakonda. And I hope he's an inspiration to other young men in our community to learn Bharatanatyam and show what it can be when it is performed by a strong male dancer. Good job, Karthik. Thank you so much. We move next to a beautiful dance addressed to Sri Saraswati, goddess of wisdom, learning, and the arts. Goddess Saraswati is also associated with flowing water and with the Saraswati River that was believed to have existed in ancient times in northwest India. As the flowing one, she washes away our ignorance, fear, sins, and impurities. She is dressed in white garments, sits on a white lotus, and rides upon a white swan, all of which are symbols of purity. In her upper right hand, she carries a rosary of pearls, symbolizing wisdom and enlightenment. In her upper left hand, she carries a book symbolizing learning, science, and practical knowledge. In her lower two hands, she holds the veena. This song is a composition of Uttakada Venkata Subbayar. The Sanskrit lyrics say, I bow to you, Saraswati, the wife of Brahma, who was born from the lotus. Always do I bow down to your lotus feet as my refuge. O Goddess, give me supreme happiness and protect me well. You are the Ancient One, the Goddess of speech, who shows the path of righteousness. Your smiling face is like the autumn moon, full of charm and varied expressions. Sananda and all the rishis, all the sages, worship your glory. In your hand, you hold the veena. You are the protector of good people. O fulfiller of wishes, like the wish-fulfilling tree itself, you easily bestow grace upon your devotees. You are the giver of boons and the abode of auspiciousness. Your wrists are adorned with bracelets, and you hold a white lotus in your hand, whose aroma attracts bees, just as your purity attracts souls searching for enlightenment. Make the lotus of my heart your residence and be established there, O Goddess Saraswati. Sarasitya Bhavajaye is set to Raga Kalyani and Tisragati Aditala, which is an 8-count rhythmic cycle with 3 sub-beats per count. An opening jati and swara was composed by Dr. Mahadevan, the vocal teacher at Nivedanam, and my husband, to make this piece more suitable for dance. Please enjoy the beautiful Alapana rendition of Raga Kalyani at the beginning.
tam tam, tam takita dim dim, dim takita tom tom, tom takita nam nam, nam takita jam jam, jam takita tam tam, tam takita dim dim, dim takita tom tom, tom takita nam nam, nam takita jam jam, jam takita takati, kadi gina to takajam, kadi gina to takajam, kadi gina to kadi gina to kadi gina to pa. Takajam pamagari sam, takajam nida pamaga, takajam gari gari ga, nida pamaga, pamagari takajam pamagari sam, takajam nida pamaga, takajam gari gari ga, nida pamaga, pamagari gama pa, mabada gama pa, mabada gama pa, mabada paga nida nida niri ga niri madani gama da niri gama gari gama pa, mabada gama pa, mabada gama pa, mabada paga nida nida niri ga niri madani gama da niri gama da nida nuda dimita kita jam jam, nisa ni nisa dani pada jam, januda dimita kita jam jam, tadam tadim tadam tadam, januda dimita kita jam jam, nisa ni nisa dani pada jam, januda dimita kita jam jam, tadam tadim tadam tadam tadim dim dimita kita ritsa nida, tom 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 kita nida pama jam 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 kita sarasi jababa jaye. सरसी जब जाए सरस्वती नमोस्तुते 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 सर्वदा सदा पदारविन्दं नमाम्यहं सरसी जब जाए सरस्वती नमोस्तुते सर्वदा सदा पदारविन्दं नमाम्यहं सरसी जब जाए परमुदाकरं देहि देवी परमुदाकरं देहि देवी परिपालिनी परमुदाकरं देहि देवी परिपालिनी परमुदाकरं देहि देवी परिपालिनी परमुदाकरं देहि देवी परिपालिनी परादि भारती संविदायिनी सनातनी परादि भारती संविदायिनी सनातनी पद पंकज चरणंगद वरदंगर निलये कल संक्वण कर कंकण धृत मंगल सदये मद भंवर कमलंकर धरणं कर कमले मयि मानस कमलालय निलये मरगद Bhava Jaye Saraswati Namostute Sarvada Sada Padarvindam Namamegam Sarasija Bhava Jaye शरदिन्दु मुखे सुमुखे आननं भावरमित चतुर्भुजे सनन्दनादि संस्तुत विभवे शरदिन्दु मुखे सुमुखे आननं भावरमित चतुर्भुजे सनन्दनादि संस्तुत विभवे करवरद्रुत वीणा सहिते सुजनहिते करवरद्रुत वीणा सहिते सुजनहिते करवरद्रुत वीणा सहिते सुजनहिते कामित फलदे मित फलदे कल्पलते सुलभे करवरद्रुत वीणा सहिते सुजनहिते कामित फलदे मित फलदे कल्पलते सुलभे कामित फलदे मित फलदे कल्पलते सुलभे पद पंकज चरणं कदवरदंकर निलये कलसंक्वण कर कंकण कृत मंगल सदये मद भंवर धवळंकर धरणं कर कमले मयि मानस कमलालय निलये मरगद वलये सरसिज भव जाये सरस्वती नमोस्तुते सर्वदा सदा पदारविन्दं नमाम्यहं सरसिज भव जाये सरस्वती नमोस्तुते
Thank you so much. You know, there comes a time in training where dancers have control over all the they start to get control over all the aspects of the dance form. And this is a really, really difficult dance form. It is very athletic. It's tiring. You know, you have to sit, bend your knees a lot, and it's tiring for your legs. You have to be rhythmically very aware, and you have to have the capacity to bring emotion onto your face, and you also have to have a spiritual awareness, which is not always easy to ask of young people. So for the first time, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean in a good way, the members of this class have got to that place where you see a grasp and a control over all those aspects, and it makes me really, really happy. So, closest to me is Miriam John. And then we have Gauri Adarsh. And behind her is Kalyani Patiari. And then we have Saisha Kumar. And on the other side we have Ohanti Patwari. And then in the corner we have Vanshika Patel. Thank you so much, dancers. Thank you. The last major item in a traditional Bharatanatyam recital is the tilana. After several slower expressional pieces, this fast, vigorous, and exciting dance is intended to leave the audience in a happy and upbeat mood. The tilana is a dance that highlights the intricate footwork and beautiful pure dance poses of Bharatanatyam. This tilana is in the raga Shankarabharanam, and the Tamil lyrics near the end are addressed to Lord Shiva. They say, "I worship you always, O Brihadisha. May I receive your grace. Please remove my troubles. Your feet are my only refuge. Won't you come to me now?" This tilana is a composition of the great Ponnaya Pillai, one of the 4 Tanjavur brothers who are credited with reviving Bharatanatyam in the 19th century and creating the structure of a traditional recital that is still followed today. So we now present Shankara Bharanam Tilana. It is also in Aditala Trisragati, meaning 8 counts, but each count having 3 subbeats.
Dani
In the course of learning, groups are always happy when I say, okay, next year you're going to learn at Tilana. That's like, okay, we've come to that point. So congratulations, dancers. Of course, Niranjana has learned a few. Thank you for bringing so much joy to it. Closest to me is Nila Kondi. Yeah, sorry about that, Nila. That's going to be on there forever. And next to her is Nitya Yelaya. And then we have Anona Bhattacharya. And Niranjana Shashikumar in her second piece for the evening. Thank you, thank you. And also thank you to our very small audience for making it sound like there are many more people than there actually are here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.